Hey guys, this is Tyler Moore. I'm here to break down my cover of Oh Round Lake by Novo Amor. Alright, before we get into this, guys, I just want to be real with you and address why I haven't been posting in the past year and a half, 2 years at this point. It's been a combination of a couple of things. I've been dealing with some health problems, as well as I didn't have a place to record music. As you can see by the change of scenery in this video, I have a temporary recording space for now. So shout out to Pete. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, Oh Round Lake, as you can see here in Logic, I've tempo mapped to the song, and the outro section is much slower than the rest of the song, so I've accounted for that within here. And then going to the acoustic guitars, we have acoustic guitar 1 left and acoustic guitar 1 right, and then acoustic guitar 2 left and acoustic guitar 2 right. They are separate takes recorded with the Rode NT1A, and they are panned hard left and hard right. Acoustic guitar 1 is playing the rhythmic stuff, whereas acoustic guitar 2 is playing the picky high string thing that you'll hear in a second. Acoustic guitar 1 sounds like this. As for the processing on these guitars, it's only a CLA 2A. That's a Waves compressor. As you can see, I've left the 60 Hz analog setting on, which normally I turn it off. But for this sort of genre, I want the noise that it creates. If we play it, you'll see that it's barely touching the acoustic guitars when the sharp transients hit. As you can see, it's on both. Those guitars are then being sent to a guitar bus where they're being processed again. As you can see here, it has an EQ on it, which is just high passing and then boosting this high frequency. And then it's going into H comp, which is just a compressor. So as you can see, it's doing about 2 dB of compression on the sharp transients, almost 3. So it's probably getting about 5 dB of compression total with the CLA 2A plus the H comp. That takes us to acoustic guitar 2, which only starts playing once we hit the instrumental section. I'll solo those out for you here. I'll unsolo it here for a second so you can get some context of where this is in the song. Same deal here with the CLA 2A. It's doing about 1.5 dB of compression. Separate takes, panned hard left, hard right. Rode NT1A, cheap acoustic guitar, pointed at the 12th fret. Those are also being sent on the guitar bus. Together, those acoustic guitars sound like this. The tuning for the guitars in this song are C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp, G sharp, C sharp. That's true for the acoustic guitars as well as the electric guitars. Speaking of the electric guitars, we'll go to the electric guitars now. There is a left channel and a right channel for electric guitar 1. There's an electric guitar 2, which is a stereo output. And then there is a slide electric guitar left and a slide electric guitar right. The slide electric guitar is 2 separate parts, played like totally separate notes, one panned left, one panned right. Electric guitar 1 sounds like this. Sounds kind of weird nasally, but it works when you pair it with the acoustic guitars. You may notice that this channel is called Electric Guitar 2 Melody. If we take a listen to that, you'll hear what it's playing. compared with the other electrics. I'm pretty confident that's not at all how he played it in the original song, but it's what I needed to do to be able to play the part. If we take a look at the processing on electric guitar 1, you'll see that it's going into 1 EQ here, which is doing quite a lot, just shaping the tone a little bit to fit with the acoustic guitars. And then this one is a very subtle, just high frequency boost. The right channel on that electric is a different EQ, because it's 2 separate amps, I believe. Next, we'll take a look at the slide electric guitars. Slide electric guitar only plays in the instrumental and then some like very faint slide stuff in the verse. There's a lot of string noise, but it gets buried in the mix. As for processing on those guitars, there isn't any. It's just being sent to the same guitar bus that the acoustic guitars were. Next, we'll take a look at the piano. The piano has a very small part in this song, but in the intro, it's playing this. Just octaves in the high section. I believe that's pretty quiet in the mix as well. Yeah. And then here in the instrumental is when it's doing the same octaves, but it's going down into the bass notes. So we'll take a listen to that. As for the plugin that this piano sound is, it's Pianoteq. This was bounced down from a long time ago. I've since lost the session that the original project was in. I've just took the unaffected channels and tried to recreate it here in Logic, but it's as close to the original as I could get based on video of the old session that I had. It's a complicated story. As for the processing on the piano, it's just True Verb. This is a reverb plugin. It's got a 2-second decay right here. Next, we'll take a look at the banjo. The banjo is a very cheap banjo that I borrowed from a friend. Shout out to Jed. This is my first time ever playing banjo, and I just basically faked it till I made it. So this is what that sounds like. As you can see, it's panned halfway to the right. And then here in the verse 3, it goes to a quiet picking part. A little mess up there. And here in the outro section is just the banjos along with the vocals. Don't judge my banjo playing skills too much, but as you can hear in this section right where my mouse is, in the original song I heard a little bit of like string noise and I wanted to incorporate that. So actually the little noises that you hear in this section were done intentionally, but then turned really low in the mix. Just a little Easter egg for you. It's really subtle, but I feel like it adds a human element to the song. As for the processing on the banjo, because it was a cheap banjo, I had to do a significant amount of stuff to it. The first plugin is CLA2A again. It's compressing about 2 dB in this louder section. In the quiet parts, It's not even touching it. And then after that is true verb. That is a 1.8 second decay reverb, followed by a high pass filter at 72 hertz. And then C4 is where the majority of the heavy lifting is coming from. It's taming a little bit of the high mids as well as the lows. Without the processing, it sounds okay, but let's turn it all back on. The bass is the DI from my Squier Jaguar bass. It sounds like this. It's finger picked really softly. All that's on it is a high pass filter. And this sound is meant to pair well with the piano. It just fills it out a little bit more. Next, we'll talk on this ambience track here at the top. This is literally just a room tone noise that I stole from the original. There's a little section where there's nothing but the room sound that I took into Izotope RX and then cloned that and then basically just stretched it out for the entirety of the song. It's very, very subtle. I'm gonna try and turn it up as loud as I can so you can hear it, but you might have to turn your volume all the way up. It's just a little bit ambient, so that way it doesn't feel like it's just in a box. It makes it feel like it's a little bit in a room. All right, now we'll touch on the vocals. The vocals, there are 4 vocals in this song. The 4th harmony is only in the outro section. The 4th vocal is down the center. The 3rd one, a little bit to the right. 2nd one, a little bit to the left. And then the lead vocal is obviously down the center. The vocals by themselves sound like this.
I've been wishing that I stayed to carve my name.
The processing on the lead vocal is just a high pass filter at 102 hertz, RVox, which is a compressor, and that's doing
to carve my name.
About 3 dB. Let's see the loud part. It's about 4 dB at the loudest. And then that's being bussed on bus 16, which is just going to CLA Echosphere. All the vocals are going to this. It's got a slap delay as well as a plate verb. The plate verb is a 2.3 second decay. It's at full wet because it's on a bus. And then the slap delay is there just to add a little bit of character. Here's what the outro vocals sound like all together by themselves without the banjo. The vocals have all the same processing except for this one, which just rolls up the high pass filter a little bit because it's singing a low, like chest voice. We'll solo that out for you.
I found my place in a twisted rib cage. I will watch you wash away.
And then harmony 2 sounds like this by itself.
Oh, Round Lake, for 5 years I felt your break. With all my shame.
The last harmony sounds like this by itself in the outro section.
Wishing you would take your place in every scene. Oh, Round Lake, sorry.
That one's being high passed all the way up to 226 hertz. All the vocals are being bussed together on the vocal bus, which is just an H comp, which is doing a total of just barely touching it. And then that's going to Kramer tape, which is just adding a little bit of tape saturation, especially to be heard during this last line. That O is really loud and it slams into the tape saturation. I'll exaggerate it so you can hear it, but it's just really subtly mixed in there. And then finally, all of that is going to Ozone on the master bus, which is just doing maximizing, which is limiting to get the volume up to where YouTube likes it. Let's take a little bit of a listen from halfway through verse 2 into the instrumental.
In a twisted rib cage.
Alright, thank you guys for watching. This has been my breakdown of O Round Lake by Novo Amor. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.